The morning calm of my coastal sanctuary in South Carolina shattered like glass under the snarl of an ATV engine. It was July 12th, 2024, and the machine tore down my private dirt road, spitting pebbles that pinged off my Jeep and sent one of my volunteers, Mia, diving for cover behind a palmetto. Coffee sloshed over my boots as I bolted outside, just in time to see Deborah, yes, that Deborah from the Homeowners Association barreling through like she was starring in some dystopian rally. 3 more ATVs trailed her, their riders whooping and hollering, leaving a wake of dust and arrogance. My gate hung open, its padlock sliced clean, chains dangling like a noose. That was the moment I knew my haven for injured sea turtles and alligators wasn't under attack by poachers or storms, but by something far worse. A suburban tyrant with an HOA gavel and a vendetta. My name's Ethan. After 15 years in military logistics and wildlife rescue across Southeast Asia, I bought 10 acres just beyond a gated community in Beaufort, dreaming of quiet days, studying alligators, and hosting the occasional shrimp boil. My land came with a private access road, a sandy path winding through live oaks and marsh grass, deeded to me alone. I kept it clear, graded it myself, and for 2 years, no one bothered me. Then Deborah arrived. She wasn't really Deborah, but the name stuck like salt on skin. As the new HOA president, she wielded her title like a scepter, strutting onto my property on day, one not to my front door, but to my back gate demanding a key to inspect shared boundaries. I handed her a copy of my deed and said no, polite but firm. Her eyes narrowed, like I'd toss her a gum wrapper instead of legal proof. She muttered about her lawyer and stormed off. That was the spark. It started small, snarky comments as she jogged past my fence, yelling, "Still playing Swamp King, Ethan?" Then came the fake citations noise, complaints for cicadas, illegal palm growth, even suspicious nighttime activity. The county laughed when I called. Her papers were as binding as a napkin doodle. I thought she'd tire out. She didn't. Soon, her neon yellow ATV appeared, roaring down my road like she was auditioning for a motocross ad. The first time, I flagged her down. She stopped, helmet cocked, smirking like she was selling me a yacht. I repeated, "Private road, no access." She revved her engine and said, "Looks open to me. Get better signs." So I did. Signs, double locks, a motion-activated gate arm. Peace lasted 3 days until I found the arms snapped off, tire tracks gouged into my soil. Mia, my sanctuary manager, shook her head. She's turning this into her personal racetrack. The breaking point came when an injured alligator weed just relocated a young male, still skittish thrash through a fence near the road, spooked by Deborah's vibrations. That animal had suffered enough. I called her, voice steady, and warned of legal action. She laughed. "It's just a path, Ethan. Don't be so sensitive." A week later, an HOA letter claimed my road was a community easement. Pure fiction, but it showed her game. She wasn't stopping. I leaned on my old skills tactical planning from jungle ops and designed a solution. My permits allowed a water retention channel for ecological balance. What Deborah didn't know was this trench would cross her joyride path, deep enough to halt any wheels. Better yet, a nearby reserve needed to rehome 2 adult alligators. I arranged for their transfer, picturing a monitored habitat with water, shade, and just enough menace to make a point. I filed environmental reports, hid the gators' arrival in paperwork, and built a low-voltage fence disguised as garden lights. To Deborah, it had looked like a fancy pond. She kept pushing, her tires grazing my stakes, bragging to her cronies about taming the swamp guy. I smiled. She'd meet the real tenants soon. On July 20th, her ATVs roared again. Deborah led 3 riders, slicing through my reinforced gate like it was tinsel. Mia and I scrambled to calm the animals as dust choked the air. Deborah didn't stop, just dragged a beach chair behind her ATV, grinning like a conqueror. She didn't know the trench was done her that in 48 hours, it had housed 2 gators, legal and untouchable. Construction was surgical. I called my old buddy Nate, an environmental engineer. He arrived with a drone and a grin. "So, This is Deborah's war zone. We dug a 25-foot trench, 6 feet deep, lined it with rock and marsh soil, and let it blend into the landscape. The HOA spied from their fence, thinking it was a drainage ditch. Perfect. At night, we reviewed drone footage, watching Deborah's daily patrols grow bolder. She even yelled, "Hope at the bridge, Ethan. My ATV hates mud." I waved back. "You'll love this surprise." The gators arrived at dawn, silent in their crates. We slid them into the water, where they circled and settled like kings. Sensors, cameras, and signs went up. The trap was set. The next morning, my phone buzzed. Motion detected. Deborah's ATV screamed into view, full throttle, her posse Tom, the guy who hated my shade trees, and Lisa, who once asked why I didn't rescue cute animals trailing behind. They laughed, ignoring the danger, wildlife signs. Deborah hit the trench's edge, brakes screeching too late. Her ATV skidded, tilted, and stuck in the mud. She tumbled off, sunglasses sinking into the water, screaming as she landed knee-deep in sludge. The gators stirred. One glided closer, eyes like polished stones. Deborah froze, finally seeing them. Tom yelled, "Don't move." Lisa reversed, pale as bone. Sprinklers popped on, spraying Deborah's ATV. She shrieked, clawing up the bank, slipping, a muddy mess in her designer gear. I strolled out, arms crossed. "What is this?" she sputtered. "You try to kill me." "It's a permitted wildlife habitat," I said. "Private land. You trespassed." Signs were clear. She threatened the police. I showed her the footage, her cutting my gate, charging the trench. "Take this to court," I said. Her ATV wouldn't start. Tom and Lisa hauled her away, silent, humiliated. The video went viral. News called it HOA Tyrant vs. Gator Justice. Reddit exploded. Deborah forgot gators don't read HOA rules. The county praised my sanctuary. The HOA's complaint fizzled. Deborah's presidency ended in disgrace. Neighbors, once wary, now visited, curious about the gators. Kids sketched them. Teachers booked tours. My sanctuary thrived, funded by grants and a celebrity donation. But Deborah didn't quit. A week later, Mia heard she was plotting at a secret HOA meeting, measuring my fence at night. At 2:38 a.m., sensors caught her sneaking with 2 men, bolt cutters in hand, trying to bridge the trench with plywood. A gator surfaced, watching. She didn't see until my floodlights blazed. She screamed, dropped her plank, and faced a gator's stare. Her crew fled. Deputies arrived, cuffing her for trespassing and vandalism. The fallout was brutal. Deborah was ousted, mocked online, her scream remixed into memes. She moved away, her house sold with a note, near serene wildlife preserve. The road stayed quiet, respected. The gators ruled, and I worked in peace, my land a symbol of nature's boundaries. Was I too harsh, turning my road into a gator gauntlet? Should Deborah have faced jail, or just a fine? Could dialogue have stopped her, or was nature's lesson the only way? Comment below, like, and subscribe for more wild tales. What would you have done?